Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. JoJo Siwa had always been easy to spot in a crowd. Neon bows, fearless glitter, a laugh that rang like confetti cannons. But on this particular morning, as sunlight poured through the wide windows of her Los Angeles home, there was a different kind of glow about her. It wasn't the sparkle of sequins or the flash of cameras. It was something softer, steadier. Happiness. Real, grounded, and unmistakably hers. She cradled her new baby close, smiling down with a tenderness that surprised even her. This wasn't the kind of baby people might expect, not wrapped in pastel blankets or announced with a gender reveal balloon. No, this baby had 4 legs, a wagging tail, and eyes so full of trust they could melt even the toughest hearts. JoJo laughed as the tiny pup squirmed, planting a sloppy kiss on her cheek like it had already known her forever. "I didn't know my heart could feel this full," she said, her voice catching just slightly. For years, JoJo's life had moved at breakneck speed. Dance floors, world tours, TV sets, stadiums screaming her name. She grew up under lights brighter than most people ever experience, learning early how to smile for the world even on the hardest days. But somewhere between growing up and growing into herself, JoJo realized she wanted something quieter too, something that loved her not for her fame, but simply because she was home. That's when this little baby entered her life. She had met the puppy on a day when she wasn't planning to make any big decisions. No glam, no schedule packed to the minute, just JoJo being JoJo. Hoodie, messy bun, and an open heart. One look was all it took. The puppy trotted toward her, tail spinning like a propeller, and sat at her feet as if to say, "Where have you been?" In that instant, something clicked. As JoJo shared the news with fans, her joy spilled through every word. She wasn't performing, she was simply glowing. Cameras caught her sitting cross-legged on the floor, the pup asleep in her lap. Her usual high-energy sparkle softened into something deeply peaceful. Fans noticed immediately. Comments flooded in, not about bows or costumes, but about how happy she looked, how calm, how at home in herself. "This chapter feels different," JoJo admitted. "It feels like mine." The new baby quickly became part of her daily rhythm. Morning walks replaced rushed car rides. Quiet moments on the couch replaced endless scrolling and planning. JoJo found herself talking to the puppy about everything. Dreams she hadn't said out loud yet, fears she was still learning to release, hopes that felt tender but exciting. The pup listened without judgment, offering only warmth and unconditional love. In those moments, JoJo realized how much she had grown. She wasn't the little girl with a bow bigger than her head anymore. She was still colorful, still bold, but now there was balance, strength with softness, confidence with calm. The puppy wasn't just a companion, it was a symbol, a reminder that love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it comes quietly, curls up beside you, and changes everything. Friends noticed the shift too. They talked about how JoJo laughed more freely, how her smile reached her eyes in a new way. Even when work called, and it always did, she approached it differently. Less pressure, more joy. She set boundaries, chose projects that excited her soul, and went home each night to a wagging tail and a reason to slow down. "This little one saved me in ways I didn't even know I needed," she confessed one evening, brushing her fingers through soft fur. "I spent so long being everything for everyone else. Now I get to just be me." As fans watched JoJo step into this gentler era, they saw something inspiring. Happiness that wasn't loud, but luminous. Success that wasn't measured in numbers, but in peace. The bows and glitter would always be part of her story, but now so was this tiny heartbeat curled against hers. And as JoJo Siwa held her new baby, glowing from the inside out, it was clear this wasn't just a new addition to her life. It was the beginning of a beautifully grounded, joy-filled chapter, one written not in headlines,
JoJo
but in love.
Siwa's home began to change in small but meaningful ways after her new baby arrived. Toys appeared in corners where dance shoes once piled up. A soft blanket lived permanently on the couch. There were new routines now. Feeding times, training moments, spontaneous play sessions that ended in laughter echoing through the halls. Each detail felt like a quiet promise that life didn't always have to be loud to be fulfilling. She often found herself waking earlier than usual, not because of a packed schedule, but because a tiny nudge and an eager tail demanded attention. Instead of groaning, JoJo smiled. Mornings became her favorite part of the day. The world felt softer before the noise began, and walking outside with her pup as the sun rose gave her space to breathe. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't rushing toward the next thing. She was present. During those walks, JoJo reflected on how far she'd come. Growing up in the public eye meant learning lessons fast, some beautiful, some painfully hard. She had faced criticism, judgment, and expectations far heavier than anyone her age should have carried. Yet here she was, stronger, wiser, and still full of color. The puppy trotting beside her felt like a reward for surviving it all, a reminder that joy could still be simple. Fans noticed the shift not just in her smile, but in her words. JoJo spoke openly about choosing happiness on her own terms. She talked about protecting her peace, about learning when to say no, about embracing the quiet moments just as much as the big ones. Her new baby became a symbol of that message, proof that nurturing something outside of work could nourish the soul. At home, JoJo discovered a different side of herself. She became patient in ways she hadn't expected, celebrating small victories like learning a new command or finally sleeping through the night. She laughed when things went wrong, chewed shoes, unexpected messes, because it all felt real, imperfect, human, and she loved it. There were nights when JoJo sat on the floor, back against the couch, the puppy curled up on her chest. In those moments, the weight of the world seemed lighter. Fame, expectations, noise, all faded into the background. She didn't need to perform or explain herself. She was enough, exactly as she was. And that realization filled her with a deep, unshakable peace. "This love is different," she shared softly. "It doesn't ask me to be anything other than present." As her life continued to evolve, JoJo carried that feeling with her. On set, in meetings, during rehearsals, she approached everything with a calmer confidence. She knew she had something waiting for her at home that grounded her, something that reminded her why balance mattered. The puppy didn't care about awards or headlines. It cared about her voice, her presence, her heart. Fans and family saw it clearly. JoJo wasn't slowing down, she was leveling up. She was choosing joy intentionally, building a life that felt aligned instead of overwhelming. The new baby didn't replace her ambition, it refined it. It taught her that success could coexist with softness. And perhaps that was the most beautiful part of this chapter. JoJo Siwa, once defined by glitter and volume, now shone in a different way. Her happiness wasn't performative, it was authentic. It radiated from the quiet moments, the early mornings, the unconditional love curled up at her feet. As her life continued to evolve, JoJo carried that feeling with her. On set, in meetings, during rehearsals, she approached everything with a calmer confidence. She knew she had something waiting for her at home that grounded her, something that reminded her why balance mattered. The puppy didn't care about awards or headlines, it cared about her voice, her presence, her heart.